Let's assemble the Amanita Cottage kitchen today. It's a small kitchen. It's a small house and a small kitchen with the little cook stove. That is what it's designed to be used with. Now it is a cabinet with a sink and a china cabinet and maybe a pantry. You can make it into whatever you want, plus some hooks for teacups. It's super cute. It is meant to be glued to the wall. It is designed to match the curve of the wall and to be installed with the window centered in front of the sink. So that is what it is designed for. It is not going to be available to purchase separately by rote, but if you must have it for non-Amanita projects and you need to have it no matter what, you can contact me at feffyscottage@gmail.com. Right now we're assembling this little drawer. There are two of these, and you should put the front on with the bottom flush to the box and with an edge on the top and centered on the front. I am once again gluing forward without waiting for things to dry thoroughly, so things go off kilter, things fall apart. Don't do as I do. Wait till you dry everything before you attempt the next step. That's just my advice. Just let things dry. Do the drawer box, go get yourself a glass of water, come back, put the front on, that sort of thing. The letters on here will not be visible because the drawer box will be inside the cabinet. If you hate them that much, you're welcome to paint over them. They're going to be a bit smaller when you get the kit. This is the big drawer, the single front big drawer. It's on the bottom of the cabinet. There are not two drawers because the space beneath the sink has a drain, people. You can't have a drawer where there's a drain, right? The cool thing is there's this lovely little space on the front of the cabinet that you can paint a really cool little motif and make it look folksy if you want to, or cottagecore, put some mushrooms on there, super cute. Use your artistic aesthetic to decide what you want to do with the face of this cabinet. I think it'll look adorable once it's installed. Now, the curve on this drawer is like the curves on the staircase drawer. However, I did not make a brace for this one drawer. So just push the curve in and rubber band it. Don't rubber band it too tightly. Make sure the bottom is flush with the bottom of the drawer, but don't rubber band it too tightly, otherwise it'll make it dry at a too severe a bend. It'll like overbend it. The back looks bent right now, but it'll be fine. It'll bounce back once you take the rubber band off. These are the slide rails for the drawer. Make sure they're on the outside edge of that line and make sure your drawer can slide freely. You can test it. The tolerances are pretty low on this. I should say pretty high. Well, I don't know, high or low. What I'm saying is that the hinges for the bottom might be interfering with the slide rail here. So you just want to make sure that you install it carefully. If it is interfering with the hinge on the door, you can flip the hinges so that the T-shaped one is on the bottom and the H-shaped one is on the top. It's not an end of the world. So now I am pushing this into the bend. You can wet this wood. It'll make the curve stay easier. And once it dries in the curve, that curve will be set for perpetuity. But you don't have to. The curve will work with dry wood as well. It's pliable enough. Get an F-clamp. They are so useful, especially when you're trying to pin those curves into place. This is a foot for the back of the cabinet. It's ugly, but nobody will see it because the cabinet's going to be glued onto the wall. This cabinet has an open back, so there is no wood closing the back. Here's the second shelf. Now, in my instructions, I will be telling you to install the spacers onto the bottom shelf first and then install this one. That's the correct way to do it. Make sure your edge of your shelf is flush with the openings for the drawers and with the notch for the sink. I'm testing the kits, so I'm doing things slightly out of order and I'm suffering for it. If I'd had those spacers in place, there wouldn't have been all of that shenanigan stuff going on. Here are the spacers. Put those on first before you start with the second shelf, and it should stay easier when you F-clamp it, or clamp it, or tape it, or rubber band it, whatever you're using to push those pieces together. and to secure that curve. Now we're moving on to the sink. Now the sink is made of the thicker plywood, and there's a reason for that. It is a farmer's sink, and it is supposed to be made of stone or of ceramic, like thick ceramic. So I made it thicker wood. So you're going to glue that together and let it dry thoroughly. And then you're going to sand down all those sharp corners on there and smoothen the front and unify it. And you're going to paint it like a stone finish or with an enamel paint to make it look like ceramic. So let that dry. So you can install your little drawers if you want to. You can leave them out till you're done. The H-shaped ones can go on the top or the bottom. Just make sure your hinge is on the outside. The little leg on the H-shaped one might hit the slide rail, so if that does, just flip them. Flip it so the T1 is on the bottom and the H is on the top. Make sure that hinge is on the outside. Oh, I'm putting in the spacer for the countertop. Make sure it's at the back. Sorry about that. Make sure it's at the back so it's not interfering with the sink. Pin hinges go into the holes, and you're going to push that in and then carefully align it, push it into the other hole, and slide the whole assembly in. Doesn't matter if the H and the T are flipped, as I said. I don't know why I wiped off the glue there. Huh, strange. Okay, so pop that on there and pop that in there. Boop. I'll get it eventually. There you go. Don't get glue in the hinge hole. That is important information. F and C. If your little tiny pin hinge breaks. Oh, wait a minute. As you can see, I sanded down the sink and it's smoothened. And so now you can paint it and it'll look like stone or ceramic. Yeah, if your pin hinge breaks, jam a little pin in there with some glue, super glue, and cut it off, cut off the top of it to about 1/16 of an inch, and that will act as your new hinge. You can do that from the get-go if you want to have stronger hinges, but these are pretty strong. Just don't be rough with them. But they work fine, these little built-in pin hinges made out of the plywood. So I'm putting on the top with the hinge hole on the outside front. And then now I'm putting one of the narrower pieces on as the back piece and gluing them together. Now, mind you, again, wait till things dry before you start moving on to the next step. Now, I didn't put any guidelines for these shelves because I want you guys to be able to configure them however you like. And I'm in demo mode, so I'm not really putting too much care about having them be perfect. So don't do as I do again. Let things dry, let them set. Now that space underneath the sink, between the sink and the drawer, you can paint a little motif on there and make it look pretty because, you know, we can't have a drawer where the shelf was, a shelf where the, God damn, I can't talk today. You can't have a drawer where the drain is. So there's a big space between the sink and the bottom drawer. But you can paint some kind of cottagecore thing and it'll look adorable and artsy, and it will have just this adorable aesthetic. Now, as you can see, I'm not waiting till things dry, so things are shifting around. If that is a lesson for you, you know, let it be. Now make sure that you do not get any glue near the door assembly and end up gluing that door closed, because it's not the strongest door in the world. Now, mind you, also, you would be installing your glass on these doors before you install the doors. And I'm air quoting when I say glass. I'm just testing the hinge, rubber banding that together. And now I'm installing the side, which is the larger of the rectangles. Make sure it's flush with the back and the tops and the bottom. And this one as well. Whee! Love that needle nozzle glue bottle. And that's just Gorilla Glue in there. Gorilla wood glue. Great stuff. Now we're going to put the sides on with the cabinets. Now they will look off kilter and they will look crooked, but the middle pieces will bring it all together because the wood warps when I laser it, so it's going to look a little crooked. I could have just had the cabinets just be floating above it, but that tree motif is very important in the Amanita Cottage. It's just part of the whole look. So you got to have it, got to repeat it. And I'm just installing this as such. Et voila. Okay, so now the hooks. So now you have these 4 little pin thingies here, jewelry findings. You're going to use some jeweler's tools to create your little hook. And cut off the excess. Now, this is one of the elements that is in the very original Amanita Cottage, and it is so charming. I put little teacups on there hanging from their little handles, and it is adorable. But you can use it for utensils, you can use it for pots and pans. If you don't want to do the hooks, you can use this shelf as the top spacer rather than the shelf below. And the holes will be hidden behind the tree trim, the branches. But I highly recommend it. You'll see at the end how just adorable these little hooks are when it comes to just hanging little elements from it. Sorry, my voice seems lackluster today. It's Sunday and I'm groggy. And my allergies are a little bit bad, so some of my speech is truncated. Now, I used this spacer. You want to line up the back edge curve with the cabinets and glue that in. Now, I forgot or lost my footage for the putting in the trim, but you need to sand down the sides so that they match the angle of the cabinets. And then glue it in. And then once it's glued in, you can add in the hook shelf or the non-hook shelf if you don't want hooks, and you would hide that shelf above at the top. But this is what's going to set your cabinets at the right angle and make everything look balanced. On goes your countertop. Yeah, so you're going to sand down the sides of that trim so that it's at an angle and that it matches the angle of the cabinets. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it fits, it doesn't really matter. And I should have done this step sooner. These are the door stops for the bottom, and I'm just popping those in with some glue. Don't close the door until they're dry, but that will keep the door from opening in the inside and having it be impossible to get it back out again. And for the top cabinets, we're going to put it at the top of the cabinet. And in this one, we're just going to pop it down with some glue and push the door to let it to where it needs to be, and then like push the door stop along with it so that it is in the position that you need it to be without making the door look crooked. In this case, I'm putting a little glue on the inside. I'm going to pop that little piece in. I'm pushing it forward, closing the door, pushing it forward, closing the door, and just making sure that the door is in the right position with the block. Drawers go in, and look at that. Super charming. Yeah, that's the Amanita Cottage kitchen. Needs to be glued in with the window aligned with the sink. And there you go. It's going to be precious cute once it's done with the house.